Welcome in everyone to another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. I'm your host as always, Lawson Turner, and we have two more playing games to go over, and they both will be played tonight. Let's go over the first game at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern on ESPN. The Chicago Bulls are heading to South Beach to take on the Miami Heat for the right to have the 8th seed in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Now, this game is going to be telling, and it's going to be a game of two question marks. Number one, can the Heat survive without Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler, for the past 3 years, or ever since he's gotten to Miami, has been the heart, the soul, and the heartbeat of this Miami Heat team. Now, they've had other good pieces around him, like Bam Adebayo, like Duncan Robinson, a sniper, like Tyler Herro, a pure scorer. They added Terry Rozier at the trade deadline this past year, but he's also going to be out with a neck injury in tonight's game. To me, this game is going to be really telling as to, like I said, can the Heat survive without Jimmy? And for the Bulls side, they're all defensive guard. Alex Caruso, his status is in doubt after getting his foot stepped on inadvertently by his teammate Andre Drummond in their win against the Hawks Wednesday night. I think that without Jimmy Butler, this game is going to go really south for the Miami Heat. I think that there's no really wing stoppers that the Heat are going to need to defend the Bulls guards or wings, I should say, like DeMar DeRozan or Coby White after coming off a 42-point eruption last game. I think that the Chicago Bulls are going to win this game, and I think they're going to advance and play the Boston Celtics in round one. I'm not going to count out the Heat because they have the better of the two coaches. We know Eric Spoelstra can pull something out of the back of his mind, and he can steal a game. I could see the I could see the Miami Heat pulling this game out, but it's I I don't like their I don't like their odds. I think that the Bulls are going to go into South Beach and they're going to pull out the win. I could see Bam doing all he can. I could see this being a Bam centric game, him operating a lot out of the low post and at the elbow, trying to see if he can take trying to see if he can take advantage of the matching up with Nikola Vucevic for most of the night. The thing for the Heat, though, Nikola Vucevic is not a slouch when it comes to stretching the floor. He can shoot. He can shoot the three well. He can shoot the mid range good enough to have Bam come out and respect it. And I think that's where the Bulls are going to take advantage of Bam not being around the rim. He's arguably the best defensive center in the Eastern Conference. I think that's going to be the key to it. How does the Heat guard without their heartbeat? How do they play without their heartbeat? It, like I said, it'd be different if they had Jimmy and Terry Rozier. That's enough shot creation and setting and hard-nosed players to set the tone early. We saw Jimmy last game have 5 steals. Like, that's setting the tone early. This is a do or die game for both teams. Winner advances, loser goes home. I'm excited for this game, and it's not to say that the Bulls aren't without their injuries too. Zach LaVine's been out most of the year after having surgery on his foot. Patrick Williams is out. Like I mentioned earlier, Caruso's status is in doubt. Andre Drummond's status is in doubt with the same foot. DeSomo is Ayo DeSomo is questionable with a hip or not a hip, a quad. I think he'll still play like he did last game. He was questionable all the way up until tip off last game, and he'll probably be questionable until an hour before tip off for tonight's game. Like I said, with all that being said, give me the Bulls to pull off a little bit of the upset. I mean, it would be more of an upset if it's just so unfortunate with injuries. But what do we all know? Injuries is a thing in sports. It is a thing that none of us can control. We can't control if Jimmy Butler's MCL holds up. Maybe the Heat go on to win this game and make it a competitive series against the Boston Celtics in round one. Maybe even pull off the upset. I wouldn't put it past them. They did it last year. Now the Boston Celtics are better this year than they were last year, but it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. You know this. I know this. Some players just rise and shine. It's just that simple. And I think this is a game in which DeMar and Coby White and Vucevic, excuse me, they're big three, if you want to say. All of these teams, good, bad, or indifferent, they all have their two or three guys. And for the Heat, it's Jimmy, Bam, and then it's on a nightly basis. Is it Tyler Herro? It was Terry Rozier a lot post trade deadline? Could it be, who's going to be the other guys to step up? Because they're going to need large contributions from their key role players. Like tonight, Jaime Jaquez, I need a big game. Kevin Love, in your limited minutes that you're going to come off the bench, I'm going to need you to channel in a little bit of that Cavs, Timberwolves, Kevin Love. Caleb Martin, I need a big game from you. Not just on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. I need you to get in DeMar's grill. Make it tough. You can't stop any of these guys in the NBA anymore. But you can make it tough. You can slow them down. You can force them to be as inefficient as they possibly can. And not just DeMar. If Coby White starts to get on fire like he did against the Hawks, switch off. There's no reason one player should dominate this game. You have good defensive players on both sides. You have a good coach. You have two good coaches. I think Eric Spoelstra is better than Billy Donovan, but I'm not discrediting Billy Donovan. I do think he is still a good coach. I just think that this Bulls team is riddled with injuries, and not saying that the Heat aren't. Not saying that the Miami Heat aren't without, a lot of their key pieces. Well, not a lot, but two of their big pieces, like no Terry Rozier, no Jimmy Butler. Those are not injuries to just wish-wash. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm picking the Chicago Bulls. They are my official prediction. I think the Bulls win this game, they advance, and they secure the 8th seed, and they'll play the Boston Celtics in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. That's all I have for this game and a little preview. Let me know who you guys think is going to win tonight's game in the comments below. Be sure to get at me on Twitter at thecover2pod26 so we can, engage and follow us for more show updates and updates on sports and, show and interact with me to where we can talk throughout the game, get instant reactions, things of that nature. Well, thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm Lawson Turner for the Cover 2 podcast, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.